Okay, so what we're going to do now is just set up the construction script for our battery pickup, which should be a pretty fast thing. What we want to do is establish how long the discharge is going to take place.
That's right.
So yeah, the character is going to walk up to the battery, we're going to hit some input, and the amount of electricity in the battery is going to be imparted to the character, but we need to know how long that is.
Oh, because you set up the timeline to do that before.
That's right, we already know how long it is. We established it was going to be 1.5 seconds. So what I'd like to do to keep things clean and elegant is to just get the length of that timeline curve that we used. In essence, what it amounts to is going over into our little data folder, grabbing this curve and saying, hey, what's the duration of this curve?
Right.
In that way, if we just change the length of this curve, it'll actually change everything throughout our blueprints. So to make that happen, it's actually pretty easy. Let's go to the construction script first, and we need to get the player character. Now, as a quick word of warning, this is a single player game that we're setting up. Right. We're not worried about multiplayer or multiple characters. So we're just going to leave the player index at 0 and leave that as it is. We're not going to worry about adding a system for figuring out what player's touching this.
Right. If we ever added more onto the game, we'd definitely come back and clean that up.
That's right. So now we need to cast this to our particular character so that we have access to all of the bits and pieces inside the character. So we'll say cast to my character, like so. And that needs to be the first thing the construction script does. And then, as my character, we are going to get its power-up timeline. That was the name of the power-up that we created, and there it is right there. If you don't remember the name, it's the thing that has the little timeline icon next to it. So now we have access to that timeline. Now we're going to get the timeline length. And there it is. Get timeline length, like so. So now we know how long that timeline is going to fire for, which is super useful for us. We're just going to store this in a variable so that we can use it later. We'll right-click, promote this to variable, and let's call this discharge time. And boom, there we go. So that's really all we have to do. That is just reaching into the character saying, hey, you know that timeline you were using to power up the character? How long is that going to run? So again, that just means we can set all of our times from that one curve asset. So with that, I think we're done. I don't think we need to do anything else for the construction script.
Yeah, this way the battery is ready to go as soon as it's added into the level.
All right, so that will wrap things up for this video. Thanks.